All right. Hi, everybody. So first and foremost, I'd like to apologize for my hair. I have a new 1-month-old baby at home, and I haven't had time for a haircut or for rehearsing PowerPoint presentations in front of large group of people. Let's see. Let's go next. Hey, there we go. So 150 ideas to celebrate Canada's 150th birthday. And because I'm in marketing and we're Weasley like that, we can put a little asterisk next to the 150th and say actual quantity may vary because I didn't actually come up with like 150 good ones. What we do at Rethink is we have this rule called the 1 or 100 rule, which basically it's about brainstorming. And what it means is that your best idea, when you look back on it, when the dust settles, was either the very first idea that you had or the 100th idea that you had. And you'll never know until you come up with all 100. So that's my way of encouraging you when you're in groups afterwards. Brainstorming is don't edit yourself. You need to just get it all out there, get every single idea on the table. There's an expression I like, which is don't worry about crap because the crap is fertilizer, right? So even if it's a terrible idea, somebody across the table from you is going to be inspired and think of a great one. So don't worry about that. So yeah, what's the next slide? So I thought that I would narrow down just the good ones, but then it turns out that because of my clever Canadian flag thing, I only narrowed it down to the ones that would fit inside this little space. so let that be a lesson. Don't be so in love with an idea that it trips you up. One of the first things that I find really helpful when it comes to talking about ideas is first to decide on a tone. Right, because you can have, it's a great big world out there and it's a great big language. You can think of a million ideas. But if you don't know the tone you're trying to strike, then you're just going to be spinning your wheels and going around in circles. So what I wanted to do was show you that you can tackle this project from any kind of tone. And I'm going to show you a range of ideas that go from very noble to slightly cheeky. And I think that if you can frame your discussion, let's say, hey, let's think of noble ideas for the next 20 minutes, it'll focus your mind. Otherwise, you'll just be sitting there thinking, I have no idea what to think of next. But no, we're just thinking about noble ideas. Or now let's just think of cheeky ideas. And it's a way of sharpening your imagination and really focusing your attention. So what's the next slide? Okay, idea one. That's the next slide. This one starts in the noble camp, and oh, by the way, this is the way it works at Rethink is we have a million people come up with a million ideas, and then we try to filter them out by using a system like how do you judge an idea. So if you learn nothing from this presentation, and judging by the way I speak, probably you will learn nothing from this presentation. If you learn nothing from this presentation, there's an acronym I want you to remember, and the acronym is CRAFT. You can write it down or think about it, and it stands for what is that? 5 things. It stands for 5 things. An idea has to be clear. That's the very most important thing. If you don't have clarity, then you're talking to yourself. R has to be relevant. It can't just be any sort of random idea. It has to be on target. It has to be on strategy. It has to be achievable. That's a big one for budget. It has to be fresh. It hasn't been done a million times before. And it has to be true. Now, in advertising, true is a big one. We wrestle with that a lot. With this one, Canada really is 150, so you don't worry about that. That'll be fine. So that's how you judge ideas. So let's judge this first idea. This idea is we're calling it 150 and 150 and 150. Basically, we would do a documentary, let's say, where we take 150 new families who've just come to Canada. Maybe they're from 150 different countries, and we shoot a documentary. Maybe we spend 150 days with them, and then in the end, our good friends from CBC would maybe edit together a movie or a long series, a TV show where you tune in. And one thing I like about this idea is it focuses on that number. It really drives that home, 150, and it also ties into what makes Canada so great. It's diverse, it's multicultural, and everybody's got a story. Again, that's very noble. It's very empowering. It's very emotional, and also perhaps not so achievable. There's that A in craft, because that would be a big undertaking. Another idea maybe it can inspire you. What's next? The national to-do list. Someone at work suggested that we ask Canadians to nominate 150 places. There's that number again in Canada that are fantastic, but maybe need a bit of sprucing up. You know, so the whole country maybe gets to vote on the top 150 that get the special love they deserve. So, I mean, I like that this ties into, you know, it's a birthday. Birthdays are time of like looking back and saying, you know, I should really work out. You know, I gotta, you know, it's not all great. It's not all fireworks and balloons. It's a little bit of, hey, you know, let's roll up our sleeves and do something good for the country. What's next? Idea 3. That's next. The Great Canadian Relay. This one is maybe a bit of a familiar idea. I would say maybe this one doesn't check the box on craft of the fresh. I'd say this one's maybe a little bit been done before, but the thought is that the current record for a relay, apparently, is 3,096 kilometers. And in Canada, helpfully, is 4,473 kilometers from coast to coast. So we could have a relay where you run, you climb, you ride, you trek, you kayak, passing off 150 different batons, maybe. And we invite famous Canadians, even politicians, to participate. Even politicians. Yeah, it's maybe not so fresh. Maybe it's a little bit Olympic relay. But you know, everyone loves a relay. Idea 4. What's idea 4? Anthem art. We're still in the sort of noble camp on this one. And the idea would be that we take the Canadian national anthem and we break it up into all its individual stanzas. And we give, because it's a very evocative, very beautiful piece of music, and the words are lovely. And we give each stanza to a different artist. And we ask the artist to find inspiration from that line. And then whether it's poetry or it's painting or some video art, we have a traveling exhibit that people can go and be enlightened. And that's, again, that's that very hand-over-heart, noble sentiment that we all love. We're getting in more and more of the cheeky territory, a little bit more fun. An idea called the Great Canadian Songbook, or maybe the Great Canadian Soundtrack, where people nominate, you know, their favorite songs by Canadian artists, going all the way back to you know, recorded history, and get current Canadian acts to redo them. And then we would have a big concert. You know, everyone likes a concert. Idea 6. What are we at now? This one I like. The Love Train. And this, by the way, we thought of this before we knew that Via Rail was involved. So this is fantastic. So basically, the idea that's what we call synergy in the business. So the idea behind the Love Train is it would basically be a gigantic train, let's say, and it'd be painted white. And what it would be is like the world's largest I love you card. So people this train would travel across Canada and stop in every town, and people would come up and we'd give them like Sharpies, and they would write on it like it's a big get well soon card or a big I love you card, and there'd just be a message to Canada. And as it would travel from town to town to town, as you needed more, you'd add more cars, and it would just become this massive thing. And eventually, it would pull into probably somewhere in BC, and then we'd have a big party. So it's one of those things. What I like about this is it's a way for people to get involved. That's more than just a party, because I think the sweet spot in all of this sort of thing is somewhere between a street party with balloons and fireworks and something really noble like an essay contest about what Canada means to me. And I think somewhere in between that is where you want to be, because a street party only lasts one day, and the noble thing not everyone's going to be involved with. But something like this, where it kind of balances both, I think that's what people would really get involved. Ooh, I'm on the yellow light. Oh, geez, what am I on? I'm only on DS7. I'll go quick. This is the A. The idea behind this one. This one is all about people getting involved, and basically it's everybody at home with their webcam. They just say A, and then they post it to this hashtag, and then we stitch it all together. And the idea is we go for the Guinness Book of World Record for the world's longest A. And hopefully it'll add up to 150 hours. Yeah, so there's that. So they don't have to be noble. Idea 8. This one is knowing that the mullet is the official haircut of Canada. We convinced Stephen Harper to adopt the mullet for a year. I said they get dumb. Idea 9. This one is kind of strange. It's basically I wrote an email inviting people to give me ideas, and I signed it off Rob of the North, and everyone really got a kick out of that, and they thought, wow, that's really fun. And then they started calling themselves, hi, I'm Steve of the North, and I'm Gail of the North, and I thought, wow, why not make T-shirts and bumper stickers, and you send in your name, and you'd get one, and it's your own thing, and you put it on your van, and you're Dave of the North, and it was just a fun, silly way for everybody to get involved. That's very low effort from people, because people generally, they're lazy. And then the last one, what am I? Oh, I got 15 seconds left. Idea 10, and this one's my favorite. It is basically the $150 bill, which is we would. And the thinking is that we get people to really write their member of parliament and really pressure the government to say, hey, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Let's make a $150 bill, and people can submit their designs. You know, one side is Stompin' Tom, and the other side is the Avril Arrow or something, it's one of those things that it's also kind of noble and it's kind of useful, but it's also kind of fun and kind of easy, you know. And so $100 plus $50, it's just weird enough to work. So thank you.